Kamasyaptin jagata pratishtam Kaṭhopaniṣad param Stoma mahadurugayam pratishtam Drishtva dhrityadhiro Naciketā tyasrakshi. O Naciketā, you, on becoming enlightened, have rejected them all by examining patiently the highest reach of desire, the support of the universe, the infinite results of meditation, the other shore of fearlessness, the extensive course of Hiraṇyagarbha that is praiseworthy and great, as also your own state. Shankaracharya's Tika. But you, Drishtva, having seen, examined Hiraṇyagarbha as Kamasya, the end of desire, that here indeed all desires end, in the state of Hiraṇyagarbha. Desire cannot lead men beyond Hiraṇyagarbha. Having seen Hiraṇyagarbha as Jagataha Pratishtam, the support, because of his all-pervasiveness of the world, comprising all that is personal, elemental, heavenly, etc. Having seen the Anantyam, infinitude, Krato, of meditation, the relatively infinite result of meditation on Hiraṇyagarbha, which is the state of Hiraṇyagarbha. Having seen Param, the other shore, the utmost limit, Abhyāsya, of fearlessness, having seen the Urugayam, extensive course of Hiraṇyagarbha, which is Stoma Mahat, that which is Stoma, praiseworthy, and Mahat, great, abounding in many attributes such as divine faculties of becoming subtle, etc., is Stoma Mahat, because it is possessed of super excellence. And having seen Pratishtang, existence of your own state, unsurpassable though it is, Naciketā, O Naciketā, having seen all these, Dhritya, with patience, and having become Dhīraha, intelligent, Atyasrakshi, you have renounced, have given up all these worldly enjoyments up to the state of Hiraṇyagarbha, being desirous only of the Supreme One. Oh, what an unsurpassable quality you are endowed with. Tang durdashang gudhamanu pravishtam guhahitam gahavareshtam puranam Adhyātma-yoga digamena devam matvadhiro harshashokau jahati. The intelligent man gives up happiness and sorrow by developing concentration of mind on the self, and thereby meditating on the old Deity who is inscrutable, lodged inaccessibly, located in the intellect, and seated in the midst of misery. The Tika. Tam, him, the self that you want to know, which is durdarsham, hard to see because of its extreme subtleness. Gudham anupravishtam, lodged inaccessibly, that is, hidden by knowledge that changes in accordance with worldly objects. Guhahitam, located in the intellect, because it is perceived there. Gahavareshtam, existing in the midst of misery, in the body and senses, which are the source of many miseries. Since it is thus lodged inaccessibly and located in the intelligence, therefore it is seated in the midst of misery. Hence it is hard to see. Matva, meditating on, that Puranam, old everlasting Devam, deity, the self. Adhyātma-yoga dhigamena. Concentration of the mind on the self after withdrawing it from the outer objects is Adhyātma-yoga. Through the attainment of that, dhīraha, the intelligent man, jahati, gives up, harsha shoko, happiness and sorrow, since there is no excellence or deterioration for the self. Namaste. So, these verses are wonderful because they express such a range of the results of different processes of self-realization. Now, I didn't explain verse 10 last time because I wanted to compare it with the other verses, 11 and 12. In verse 10, Death says, I know what I have attained is only material. It's impermanent. Even though my post as death lasts a very long time, basically the whole existence of the universe from beginning to end, still, one of these days I have to give it up. One of these days I have to go away and become something else. Why? Because I attained this through the Naciketā fire, which is basically a material process. Even though it involves meditation and aligning the intellect with the higher energies and higher consciousness, it still only yields the higher heavens. It only makes you immortal within the span of the life of the universe. Then, in verse 11, he says, you have rejected them all. What does that mean? You have rejected all the ritualistic processes, including even the Naciketā fire. You have gone higher. You have understood the highest reach of desire, the infinite results of meditation, and so on. Why does he say this? Because Naciketā has reached the state of Hiraṇyagarbha. Now, Hiraṇyagarbha, you could say it's like the sum total of all the false ego in the whole universe. That this is created by Brahma. And Lord Brahma is the incarnation of the mode of passion. And passion is ego. So when he creates the cosmic egg, the Hiraṇyagarbha, golden egg, it contains all the false egos of all the living entities in the whole universe. So after Brahma, his sons begin to create beings, progeny, by sexual reproduction. Prior to this, Shiva, Brahma, and Vishnu created beings simply from their minds. So once this sexual reproduction is begun, the false egos come into play, and the beings identify with their bodies, and they become deluded, conditioned by material existence. But in the state of Hiraṇyagarbha, when they are all gathered together as a whole, this is equivalent to the consciousness of Vishnu. This is called Urugayam. This means the course or the extent or the range of Hiraṇyagarbha. So when one realizes Hiraṇyagarbha, he realizes this ego is just a construction. It's a fabrication. It's not real. And this is also very similar to fourth path realization on the path of the Buddha. That one realizes, oh my God, I'm thinking I am this, I am that, I am this other thing, and so on and so forth, and it's all a lie. It's all wrong. Because actually, I'm not any of that. When I approached my Buddhist mentor, Bhikkhu Ñāṇananda, Kaṭhopaniṣad Ñāṇananda, he one time told me, I asked him for some advice on meditation. How should I meditate? He said, everything you have done, you must undo. Meaning, whatever I have created, this ego, this intelligence, this mind, this body, and then whatever I've done during my life, all that I has to undo, unwind it, destroy it, basically, or uncreate it. This is the purpose of the ascending portion of the Paticca-samuppada. Now, we've gone over that in so many videos in the past. I'm not going to explain that here. But this is what you are supposed to do when you meditate. People sing different mantras and devotional prayers and this and that and stuff. And then they wonder, well, now what should I do when I meditate? Well, the problem is, in devotional consciousness, there's a difference between you and God. There's a distinction. There's a relationship between two individuals. But that doesn't operate in these higher realms. When one realizes Hiraṇyagarbha, he becomes one with Hiraṇyagarbha. So in the next verse, Death says, the intelligent man gives up happiness and sorrow by developing concentration of mind on the self. And that's the famous Adhyātma-yoga adhigamena. Adhyātma-yoga. Concentration of the mind on the Supreme, along with withdrawing it from the sense objects. In the next video, I'm going to spend some time going into how this works. Because we've been going along here without really any explanation of how to apply all this. And basically, you have to give up all external spiritual and religious activities and go inside and restructure your whole view. Restructure your mind or your intelligence, basically, to look at things differently. And that is how one attains success in meditation and reaches the highest stage of enlightenment. Aum Tat Sat. Aum Shakti Aum. Aum Namah Shivaya.